The
Yep.
next one is from, let me double check so I don't butcher the name. This one is from Kayla Kirk 17, and her question is, what's your advice to someone wanting to get into this field? And if you want, Austin, I can kind of go over, I can kind of say my piece, and then you can say your piece because you and I kind of started at the same, not knowing anything,
Mhm.
not knowing
Yeah.
anything. So I'll go ahead, and then you can kind of, your personal experiences and everything. But obviously, like the first step is, find which state you're wanting to work in. If you're in a legal state, you've already beaten half the battle, right? Like you're ready to go, depending on what state you're in and where you live. In the South, there's not there's slim picking out here, even if you're in a legal state. Um, so know where you want to go. Next one, as obvious as it is, you can't go into it like you could in the old days. Go into the shop and ask for the manager and ask for a resume. So hop online, start searching, do your research, right? Research is important for this. Look on LinkedIn, look on Indeed, look on Snag a Job, look on Monster, look wherever you need to look for what companies are hiring within the state that you're living in. And even if they're not hiring, figure out what companies are in your state and figure out how to get in contact with them. Go to their contact page, find somebody on LinkedIn that works for them and reach out. Find an email, do whatever you need to do to connect with these people. Connecting with people and knowing people is a huge part in this industry, and it can get you very far if you know the right people. Um, and besides like all that, like I said, Austin and I, we didn't really know a lot, but knowing some stuff, or Austin did know, he knew stuff before he came in. I was impressed with the knowledge that he had. Now he had never worked commercially, but he did know his stuff, which to me, I was like, damn, dude, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's got some stuff to learn, but that's why he's here. He's here to learn this side of the commercial space. I started commercial and then, did some home grow out in Oregon. Um, but just learn, research, read literature, talk to people, go on forums, scavenge the forums. A lot of people forget that there's a lot of good forums out there. I'll shout out Bean Basement. They're really good. It was created by Capulator. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Capulator. I did a Bean Basement Grow, and basically it's just a journal, but you can join without having a journal, and you can, watch all these different people grow and do their research and do all this stuff, and you can ask questions. It's a very open place to ask questions. Um, and then if you do get a job, or yeah, if you do get a job, just be willing to learn, hustle, right? You don't have to know anything. You can be taught everything, but be willing to learn. If you do know something, leave your ego at the door, right? You don't, one way is not the right way, right? Every place is going to grow differently, and you need to learn to adapt, right? Even if it's not the way you would do it. And that's what makes a good grower is learning all these different ways. And maybe you know what's better, maybe you don't, but just be willing to do it how they want. Unfortunately, you know what I mean. But leave that ego at the door, and work hard. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of people succeed in this industry not knowing anything, but they're grind. They're hard workers and they work hard at and that to me stands out more. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
and then let's see what else did I get here. That's pretty much it. I mean, do your research. I think the biggest thing for me was when I was moving back down south, I did a lot of research. I was having a hard time finding a job, and even people that weren't hiring, I was reaching out to them and getting calls and getting, just talking to people. Um, you know, so what do you want to add to that, Austin? What about you?
I I think that you nailed that one on the head. Um, agree strongly with the they're looking for. I think they're looking for more of like a your personal worth. Like how do you hold yourself?
Right,
What's your work ethic like?
right. Work
Because
ethic is huge.
like you said, they can teach you. Because if you're working at a farm for 5 years, at a different farm, that's great, and they're gonna like that. They're gonna appreciate that. But they could be doing something completely different, in which they're gonna almost have to reteach you
Right.
their method.
It's their
They're not
cheeseburger.
gonna. Right. It's their cheeseburger. It's their pig on their farm.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But I think that one of the main things that they look for is is this person gonna work hard? Is this person gonna do what I ask them to do? They're not necessarily looking for you if you know everything or not. They don't care if you know everything. Obviously, they want you to have plant knowledge in general, but you can't, as like a cannabis company, you can't necessarily expect everybody that's going to apply has been in cannabis because it's not everywhere.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of places that can't grow it or it's very, minimal. So they're
Hmm.
not necessarily expecting people that know everything. So if you don't know a lot about it, that's fine.
Yeah. Just be
Don't
willing to
let
know.
that deter
You
you.
know.
Yeah, be
Yeah.
willing to learn, show some effort. Maybe when you're in your interview, be like, I've never grown it. I've never been in a grow, but I've been reading this about it. I've been researching about this. If they have a good feel for you as a person and that you're actually wanting to know and
Hmm.
learn and you're wanting to work, you got a
Exactly.
good shot at
You
getting a
do.
job.
You definitely do.
If you're somebody that's, well, I've been growing for 10 years, and this is the only way to do it. This is the only method that works. This is what, this is how, if you're telling them how to do it,
Right.
they probably don't want you.
Yeah.
They want somebody that's going to be open to what they're going to instill in their business, whatever it is.
Exactly.
So also with that, if you're wanting to go somewhere to grow a specific way, don't go. If you want to grow indoor, don't apply outdoor because you're not going to like it. Or
Right.
if you're wanting to work outdoor, don't apply indoor because
Right.
because it's two different worlds.
Yeah. It
So
is.
you also have to keep that in mind.
Hmm.
If you're the type of person that is set in a certain way, don't go somewhere thinking you're going to change everything they do because you're not.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
No.
Yeah.
Not with already an established company.
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely, most of them are probably open to trying things and testing things and seeing if
Yeah.
it works, but
Because
don't
they need to have an
expect that
open
you're going to
mind too.
bring.
Like
Yeah.
even though
Yeah.
you're going to
Exactly.
work for them, like a good grower, like I said, they leave their ego at the door. They are willing to learn new
Yeah.
things or be willing to like be wrong, right? It's not their way
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
highway. Like if you have
Yep.
not like a good grower is gonna respect and know when another grower is saying good shit. You know what I mean? And they're like,
Yeah.
damn, like you know what I mean? So you don't want to
So
work for somebody like that necessarily
yeah.
either. You know?
Yeah. Know your worth.
Yeah.
Know what you're worth and play that role. If you know what you're capable of, then do what you're capable of and show your employer that you're capable of it. But if they're not willing to listen and they're not willing to work with you, that might not be somewhere you want to be.
Yeah.
Um, but definitely the openness, I think, is one of the biggest things in the field, just because
There's so
there's
many
so
different
much
places,
different. Yeah,
yeah, doing
yeah,
different things, so you got to be open minded and
yeah. Flexible. That's the word I'm looking for.
yeah,
You gotta be
definitely.
someone that can be flexible. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Cool. Well, I think we answered that question. Thanks, Kayla, for that. We appreciate
It's
the
cold
question.
cut time. It's pizza time. It's cold cuts and pizza.
Oh yeah.